kick it off. Hi everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm very excited to have Gal and Sonia here to talk about MuleSoft Direct for industry clouds. We're hosting a little bit of a special event because we really want to make sure that you all learn about this awesome product offering and what's coming up. So thanks for joining. Basically, the Q&A is open. If you have any questions during the session, please put your questions in the Q&A. Make sure you upvote if there's a question you'd really like to be answered, especially if we start running short on time. And as always, thank you for joining us. And I'm going to hand it over to our awesome speakers.
All right, thanks so much, Sabrina, for that introduction. Welcome everybody to this session that we're hosting this afternoon on MuleSoft Direct for Industry Clouds. Gal and I are really excited to be here with you this afternoon so that we can tell you all about this new solution that we've built specifically for our Salesforce industry customers. So in this session, we are going to be covering exactly what this solution is, why it is relevant to Salesforce customers as well as MuleSoft customers. We'll be diving into how exactly the solution works, and then we'll cover what industries are available as well as some examples of the integrations that we provide. And Gal, my amazing PM, product manager, is also going to demo one of these integrations that are packaged up for you in your Salesforce Industry Cloud. And she's going to show you how you can really easily and simply deploy one of these package integrations directly within your Salesforce Industry Cloud and how you can customize them for your organization using MuleSoft. And before we dive into the content, just some quick forward-looking statements. I want to give you all a quick reminder that Salesforce is a publicly traded company, so customers should base their purchasing decisions on products and services that are currently available. And with that, some quick introductions. My name is Sonia Shida. I'm a senior product marketing manager at Salesforce working on MuleSoft. I've been with the company now for about a year and a half. Now it's gone by pretty fast. Fun fact, one of my previous roles was actually doing some Salesforce administration work, and I found it so satisfying to, build reports that work, configure the application in a way that makes sense. So really excited to be working closer with the product. Gal, I'll hand it to you to introduce yourself. Oh, you're on mute. You are on mute. If you see like near the bottom, it still says you're muted. It wouldn't be a virtual enablement call without technical difficulties. Sabrina,
I'm wondering if it's because the headphones didn't work. Is your input speaker your laptop speaker? Okay, maybe just click the refresh page and then we'll wait for you to come back in. Something might have happened with the microphones.
Maybe we can do a quick poll through the chat. So is anyone both a Salesforce customer and a MuleSoft customer? Can post in the chat. Yes. Oh, she's back.
Of course. I was clicking the unmute button and nothing happened.
You're all good now.
Hi, everyone. Sorry for that. Hi, everyone. I'm Gal Gavish. I'm a Senior Director of Product Management with Salesforce, working on cross-cloud integration between MuleSoft and the Salesforce platform, as well as the different industry clouds at Salesforce. I've been with the company for almost 5 years now. And fun fact, before MuleSoft, I worked on various Einstein products. So I know a little bit about that as well. Back to you, Sonia.
Awesome. Thanks, Gal. We are going to be hearing more from Gal in just a little bit, but I will go ahead and kick us off, get us started with the content. So just to level set for everyone here, I know that I think all of you on this call are very familiar with Salesforce's vision, which is, of course, to connect you with your customers in very new and innovative ways. And the way that we do that is by helping our customers build a customer 360. And Customer 360 here refers to our complete suite of technology and products that really help you unify all of your teams on one real-time CRM so that you can have that single shared view of all of your customer data. And of course, no surprise, the integration is really at the center of that Customer 360. And let me explain why. So your customers, may interact with you through a variety of mediums and channels. So that could be in person, it could be on the web and through mobile, or even social media and email. But despite all of these different channels that they're coming to you on, they still want that very consistent and personalized experience. And they expect you to be very up to date on all of their latest activities. And then at the same time, the information that you need in order to serve your customers is also stored on a variety of different systems. So that could range from your ERP to your product information systems, marketing and commerce systems, as well as industry specific systems like core banking and electronic health record systems, or EHR for short. And the reality is that most of these systems aren't connected. So that leaves you as a customer service agent or as an employee. It leaves you to have to refer to or log into multiple different sources to try to get the information that you need and then reconcile it for what the customer is asking for. So, to build that single source of truth and that 360-degree view, you need to figure out how to integrate all of your different systems and all of your customer touch points. But of course, this is much easier said than done. So, connecting all of these systems, all these sources of data is very, very time consuming and it requires a certain level of expertise. So, for example, integrating outside systems with Salesforce requires our developers to be familiar with both that specific system's data model as well as Salesforce's data model, which is called SIM, refers to Customer Information Model. And then on top of this, there might be industry specific data requirements. So, for example, if you're in the healthcare industry, you'll recognize a data standard called HL7 or FHIR. If you're in banking, you might recognize a standard called buy-in. So, ensuring that everything is compatible, you've done all your data transformations, all the mapping so that all the systems and data can talk to each other. Um, to accomplish this type of integration, that requires significant time and effort as well as expertise. So, to expand further on some of those industry specific requirements that I was talking about, let's walk through a couple of industry specific examples. So, first example, if you are in the healthcare industry, you know that there is increasing pressure on healthcare providers from insurance companies, from patients, and even from the government to deliver more value based care. But the current systems that our healthcare providers are dealing with aren't necessarily built or equipped to deliver on that kind of demand. So, as a result, our healthcare providers are actually seeking out more systems. So, additional third party solutions outside of their traditional EHR or electronic health record system. They're seeking out these additional systems to help them deliver on value based care. But in order for those additional solutions to be meaningful, all of the information from both your traditional EHR systems, your new solutions, all of that still needs to be pulled into a single view. And that typically needs to be done using those common data standards, HL7 or FHIR. In the financial services industry and banking, customers increasingly want digital first experiences. So for example, I can't really remember the last time that I walked into a banking branch. And the off chance that I do get a paper check, I want to be able to deposit that directly from my phone inside of my own house. But in order to deliver on that kind of experience for your customers, banks need to figure out how to make their legacy systems more compatible with modern cloud based technologies. So that means that our banks need to figure out how to expose their core system functionality within the digital channels that customers are using. So anything from web, mobile, chat, etc. And what's growing in popularity in this industry is another data standard called buy-in. And then last example I'll highlight is from telecommunications. So in the telco industry, customer profile data is usually, again, hosted in a variety of systems. And that leads to employees kind of experiencing that swivel chair effect while their customers are waiting on hold for longer than they need to. So, building a customer service team that has all the information that they need at their fingertips really requires us to connect all of these disparate systems and unify data like customer order history, service call history, as well as billing information, for example. And then at the end of the day, this unified customer record really helps our service agents assist customers much faster and deliver on that enjoyable customer experience that everybody is expecting from companies today. So, those are just examples of some of the industry specific requirements, priorities that differ from industry to industry. And the good news here is that Salesforce has really recognized that different industries need different things and they have different priorities. So, that is why we've built an industry cloud for every industry. It's communications, media, manufacturing, or any other industry that you see up on this slide here. This is all so that you can deliver on those digital experiences much faster. And if you are not familiar with Salesforce industry clouds essentially take the foundational elements of our core clouds, so Sales Cloud or Service Cloud, and it's customized with industry specific fields, functionality, as well as workflow and AI. But of course, data still needs to be integrated into these industry clouds, and that exactly is where MuleSoft comes in. So MuleSoft provides one complete platform for integration, automation, and API management. And with MuleSoft, you can unlock data that sits both inside and outside of Salesforce. You can automate your repetitive processes, and then you can also manage all of your integrations and APIs at scale, no matter where they are. MuleSoft, in other words, really fuels that customer 360. It helps you build the customer 360, and it gives you that one CRM platform for connecting every customer touch point. And in fact, we have data that shows that Salesforce customers who realize the fastest time to value are the ones who are using MuleSoft. And I, of course, like to think that this is because of the tailored solutions that we built. One of them being MuleSoft Direct for industry clouds. So, MuleSoft Direct is a new turnkey integration solution that helps our customers connect Salesforce to their critical industry systems much faster and in a more standardized way. The solution makes connectivity much faster, easier, and or lower cost. So, the first point here is that the integrations, we've made them easier for you to implement. So we're really simplifying the integration process by empowering business users like the Salesforce administrator to be able to enable or deploy these packaged integrations from directly inside of Salesforce. And then developers can come in and just do that last mile of implementation and customize whatever they need to on the back end. With MuleSoft Direct, you can also accelerate your time to value because we're giving you these pre-built integrations for your top industry initiatives that already adhere to specific standards like FHIR, BIAN, and TM Forum. And then lastly, with MuleSoft Direct, this is also a great entry point into starting or developing your integration strategy. So you don't have to invest in a completely new integration strategy or spin all of this up at the same time. You can get started with just our core foundational integrations, and then from there, scale up incrementally as your business or your organization evolves. So with MuleSoft Direct, because of what we're packaging up and pre-building for you, you can actually reduce your development time from months down to just days. So here is a high-level overview of how the solution works and exactly what is built for you and comes out of the box. So I'm going to start at the top of this diagram here. On the front end, our business users, like that Salesforce administrator, would be able to go into their Salesforce Industry Cloud and see a set of pre-built integration use cases. And there's some examples listed up there. So one of them could be prior authorization if you're in the healthcare industry, as well as core banking modernization if you are in the financial services industry. A business user like that Salesforce admin would essentially be able to go into their Salesforce Industry Cloud and essentially click to enable any one of these pre-built integrations from directly inside of their Salesforce Industry Cloud. And then what's happening on the back end here is that MuleSoft has built that technical infrastructure necessary to power that connectivity experience for our business users. So that means that we've already defined, the best integration method for your particular system of record. We've designed the architecture, and we've even done like the data mappings and the transformations to Salesforce. In other words, if you are a MuleSoft customer, you're familiar with the more technical terminology, that means that we've pre-built the API specs as well as the implementation templates that are necessary to pull data out from the external systems using the leading industry standard, and then connect that system into Salesforce to deliver on those business outcomes or use cases. So with this solution, our developers don't necessarily have to worry about having knowledge of Salesforce's data model or working on translating outside data into that common industry standard, or even formatting that information for a specific use case. Our developers can simply come in, plug in the systems that they need to using our templates. They can map any additional custom fields and make any other adjustments that they need to. The rest of the integration still automatically updates and flows into the use case that our admin has already deployed in Salesforce. So pretty cool. And I'm sure you're wondering, are these integrations available for my industry cloud? So here is a little preview of what is currently available now. We have MuleSoft Direct integrations available now for financial services, healthcare, communications, and energy and utilities clouds. And then later this year, we do plan to launch MuleSoft Direct for consumer goods cloud, manufacturing, and media cloud. And before I hand it over to Gal to do a deeper dive and take a look at the demo, I wanted to highlight some industry examples of some of the use cases that we have pre-built for you through MuleSoft Direct. The first one, let's take a look at the financial services industry. So this first set of integrations that we're building for Financial Services Cloud really focus on getting all of the data that you need from your core banking system into Financial Services Cloud for that 360-degree view. So the integration allows our banks to connect to their core banking system and then pull up-to-date and accurate account balances and transactions into Financial Services Cloud. It also allows our banks to keep their customer data up to date. It allows you to make sure that addresses and emails are in sync between FSC, Financial Services Cloud, as well as the core banking system. And then lastly, there is also an integration that enables bank staff to request a fee reversal from directly inside of Financial Services Cloud. And then we have an integration that will automatically credit that account within the core banking system, making sure that the two systems are in sync and up to date. And then ultimately, with these integrations, our customer service agents will have that complete picture of their customers' activity, and they can action any requests and update records all from within one system, which is Financial Services Cloud. Next, let's take a look at a healthcare use case, which is prior authorization. If you're not familiar with prior authorization, it is the process that healthcare providers need to go through to check whether a treatment or procedure is going to be covered by the patient's insurance. So it sounds pretty standard and pretty basic, but the process has a lot more integration points than you would think. So in order to get the patient and the treatment data needed into Salesforce Health Cloud, our developers need to get information out of their EHR, which stands for Electronic Health Record System. And they need to do that using a data standard called FHIR. And this is becoming a more and more common data language within the healthcare industry. Once that data is integrated into Health Cloud, developers would then need to build another integration point to send that prior authorization request to your patient's insurance company. And thanks to MuleSoft Direct, this end-to-end process integration is all pre-built for you and available to launch from within Health Cloud. Last example I'll highlight here is from communications. And the integrations that are currently available for MuleSoft Direct for Communications Cloud center around empowering the sales team to streamline the quote to cash process, specifically focused on quote and order. So this means that when a sales rep needs to verify an address or check what services are available for a customer's location, or submit a new order to an order management system, they can go directly into Communications Cloud. And what MuleSoft is doing here is enabling connections to the backend address management systems, the service qualification systems, as well as order management systems. And that is through the industry standard format in communications, which is called TM Forum. And with these integrations, our sales teams can then get all of the information that they need to continue on with the quote and order process in a streamlined and error-free way. So just some examples of the integrations that are available within select industry clouds. And now I want to hand it over to Gal to go through a more technical overview of the solution as well as a demo.
Great. Thank you, Sonia. So first of all, I'm going to kind of walk you through the three main components of what we've done with MuleSoft Direct to make it easier for a Salesforce administrator as well as a MuleSoft developer to really quickly and easily design and deploy these applications. So if we can go to the next slide. So first of all, the first part completely abstracted and made it super easy for Salesforce administrator is just connecting between the two platforms. So previously, in order to leverage any sort of MuleSoft capability from within a Salesforce org, administrator had to do a lot to connect between the two platforms and establish that trust. So they had to create a connected app and create a name credentials and update the consumer ID and find the client secret and create external services and so on and so forth. And that process, if every single step in that process, it would probably take you about 20 minutes to set up. And if you didn't know what you were doing, imagine how you had to spend just to figure things out. So we are doing all of that in the background, and all we're asking is for the user to your Anypoint platform instance. Once you provide that, we will do all of that in the backend. So we really accelerate that process from hours to literally seconds. So that's the first benefit of the MuleSoft Direct foundation that we're providing. The second is around applications that are available. So we're building a whole bunch of integration applications, as Sonia showed you before, a few of the examples. And all of those are available on MuleSoft Exchange. But we know that Salesforce administrators typically spend most of their time within the Salesforce and ecosystem, and they don't necessarily are familiar with MuleSoft Exchange or that platform. So we're bringing over that information from Exchange and making it contextual. So we're only showing the relevant applications from Exchange that are specific to the industry. So for example, if you're in Communications Cloud, we're not going to show you the hundreds of applications in Exchange that are completely irrelevant. We're only going to show the ones that are specific to Communications Cloud. We're currently only querying the public Exchange and applications that are specific to communications. And the last benefit that we're bringing through MuleSoft Direct is those fully applications. So we're building applications that are specific to key use cases, critical use cases from within the industry that you're in, whether it's through accelerators or templates, connectors, or fully implemented APIs, reference implementations, and whatnot. And all of that is available through the framework of and discoverable through the Salesforce setup. Just a quick note, accelerators is something that is not currently available through MuleSoft Direct, but we're working on it, and it should be available in the summer release this year. So let me switch over and show you how it actually works. So Sonia, if you share my screen, and I can show you how it works. So we'll start from within the Salesforce home. This is a demo org for Communications Cloud. So I'm just going to walk you through a quick Comms Cloud demo. So I'm a Salesforce administrator right now, and I'm looking to those integrations that Sonia mentioned, like verifying an address or qualifying a service. So I'll the integration page, and we have a new integration setup page in the Salesforce setup. We're asking you to acknowledge that we're integrating with an external platform, so your data is going to at some point leave the Salesforce database and go through the MuleSoft platform. And once you do that, we allow you to actually connect to the MuleSoft instance. Here you can select your control plane, which is either in the US or in the EU. We're asking for your username and password. Here that I already logged in and re-logged in multiple times, so it's not really asking me for my username and password because I already connected previously. It's just asking me to grant access, but if you're doing it for the first time, you'll have to actually connect to your MuleSoft instance. And here we're pulling the TM Forum applications that we built specifically for Communications Cloud. If I were in Healthcare Cloud, for example, it would have shown me the prior authorization application. Financial services would have go to that cloud as well. So, and these applications and see additional information that is pulled directly from Exchange. Now you see here this version number. Right now, we don't support versioning, but in the coming release in the summer release, we do plan to support versioning as well. So let's say I plan to enable this application for TM4 673. So I can choose my business group and the environment I want to deploy in and give it a name. So I'll be testing my application. And please note, we have a little bug here, so don't put any spaces in your name, in the name of the application. If you do, you'll probably get a bizarre error. But so just don't use spaces. You can put your client credentials in case the application requires it. We support different types of credentials for your application. If it doesn't, you can skip that step and the application is enabling. Now, what happens on the endpoint side, we are deploying this application to the runtime method. If I switch over to the MuleSoft and I can see this application actually being deployed here. Now that will take a few minutes, so I'll switch over to Exchange for a second and show you here that if I look for TM4 in the search box, I can see all the API documentation for the applications that we are providing for Communications Cloud. Same thing if I look for, let's say, health, I can see the prior APIs. If I look for, let's say, prior authorization, I will see the prior auth, the submission APIs and the EMR sync APIs, all the APIs that are relevant to the prior auth use case. And you can see all the details here. Now, once the application finishes deploying, let's take a look at sorry, there was a big noise in the background. You can go to the application I'll just take application I deployed previously, you can download the jar file of that application and then go to Endpoint Studio and customize that. In here, application itself, you can see that this is just, at this point, it's just a reference implementation, which means it's not actually the backend system. We're just put all the pieces in place to allow you to just drag in the connector to your system, do a few data transformation, maybe add a few things that are specific to your business requirements. And once you're done with this customization, you can redeploy this app and everything is already connected to Salesforce, so you don't have to do anything beyond that. Now, I'm probably oversimplifying that a little bit, so you probably do need to invest some time in figuring out how to connect to your backend system. But the framework here is in place, and it should save you a lot of time in thinking how to design the application, what use cases to use, how to implement all the integration procedures and Lightning components and all of that from within the Salesforce experience. So we did a lot of the work for you for those specific use cases. And here, a MuleSoft developer needs to come in and figure out just how to connect that last mile to the backend system. It could be Matrix, it could be Epic, it could be FIS, it could be different systems, but most of the work, at least connecting to the Salesforce side, was done. So there's that last mile of work that needs to be done on the Salesforce side. So this is the end of my demo, and I'll pass it back to Sonia.
Thanks, Gal. I think always good to see exactly how the solution works within Salesforce and Anypoint platform. So thanks for showing everyone. I'm going to reshare my screen to wrap things up for us before we get to the Q&A. So I think you can kind of see through Gal's demonstration that with MuleSoft Direct, we've done all of the, or most of the legwork for you, and we're delivering industry-leading connectivity so that you can implement that customer 360 much faster. So just to recap, with MuleSoft Direct, we give our Salesforce administrators the ability to go into a centralized hub within Salesforce to initiate connectivity use cases. And these use cases, again, depending on your industry cloud, are already filtered for your industry. They're very relevant for what you need. And these integrations have built-in data and system interoperability. Our admins are then just empowered to connect outside information directly inside of Salesforce using our package integrations that are powered by MuleSoft on the back end. And because we know that every company is slightly different, you have different requirements and your business, your structures are set up in unique ways. This is why we let our developers come in and do that last mile of connectivity like Gal was talking about. So use our templates. You can customize any default fields, connect additional systems of record, and adjust those implementation templates however you need. Our developers can make those adjustments and still save significant time and effort by building on top of these package use cases. And just another reminder, here are the industries that are currently available and what we have coming out soon. And if you don't see your specific industry or industry cloud listed here, don't worry, we're always looking to add and enhance our roadmap, and would love to hear what you want us to work on, whether that's launching MuleSoft Direct for a new industry or releasing additional integrations for an existing industry. So feel free to add your recommendations here through this session, through the comments, through the Q&A. Or if I go to the next slide, we have a feedback form for you. So in that last box here, if you pull out your mobile device and open your camera app, you can scan this QR code and it'll take you to a survey. So here is where you can fill in information for whether you're interested in trying out any of our GA integrations or industries, and you would like the support of somebody from MuleSoft. We'll be happy to partner with you on that. So that's that last box to get in touch with us, to try out the integrations. Pull out your phone, camera app, and then there'll be a link that'll take you directly to that survey. And then moving back to the first box, another call to action for you all, if you are interested in what you heard in this enablement session, encourage you to write a blog or an article on MuleSoft Direct in any of the current GA industries that we have. So that again is for financial services cloud, health cloud, communications, as well as energy and utilities cloud. And then lastly, in the middle box, Gal and I will be at TDX this year. So hopefully some of you are going to be joining us live. We have another session on MuleSoft Direct, which is called Build an Industry-Centric Customer 360 with MuleSoft Direct. It is taking place on Wednesday, May 8th. It's the second day of TDX at 12:30. So be sure to go into Agenda Builder if you're attending live, find our session, and we would love to see you in the audience. If you're not attending TDX live, our session will also be broadcast on Salesforce Plus. So here, this QR code will take you to the page where you can watch our session on Salesforce Plus. I'll leave this up for a couple more minutes. And then Sabrina, over to you for any questions.
Yes, we do have a couple in the chat. So the first one is from Prashanth. Hi, Prashanth, by the way. He says, which specific core banking systems are supported, such as Jack Henry, FIS, etc.?
Actually, all of them. We're not implementing specific core banking systems at the moment, but they are implemented with a Buy-in-inspired design. So any core banking system that speaks the Buy-in standard will be able to easily connect to those APIs. In future releases, we are looking to deliver integrations with Jack Henry and another core banking system, Thought Machine as well. That's to come in the future.
Awesome. And then we have one more from Siva. He says, how do the accelerators help in achieving a 360-degree view?
I can take that one. Really good question. And we actually did another community enablement session for MuleSoft last week on accelerators. So accelerators they're also an integration solution that have been around for a little bit longer than MuleSoft Direct. And we kind of like to think of MuleSoft Direct as an evolution of accelerators. So whereas MuleSoft Direct is specifically for industry cloud customers, MuleSoft accelerators have integration use cases that are much broader than just Salesforce industry clouds. So the use cases and the assets include connectivity to Salesforce industry clouds, as well as sales, commerce, and service cloud, or any other experience system that you're working with. So the use cases will also help you connect up into a mobile app if that's what you're developing, or a web portal, for example.
Okay, and then one more from Prashanth. He says, how do we discover MuleSoft Direct assets in Exchange?
Right now, just search. They're not tagged in any specific way, and there's no specific filter for them. Industry like communications or energy, TMF, as I showed, for communications, or health, or prior authorization for healthcare, they're easily found through the search box.
And then I also posted this in the chat, but this is a great reminder for everyone online. If you would like to write for our Medium blog, another integration blog, please, please, please think about writing these topics. We're always looking for new ideas. I know Data Weave is popular, but we can only have so many Data Weave blogs. So definitely think about how you can either write about MuleSoft Direct or write about accelerators. And then for those watching who are also members of the Salesforce Trailblazer community, what are some of those joint use cases that you'd like to see? We love good content about that as well.
And if you have any specific questions, or you like to get in touch, please fill out this short survey with the link that is here on the screen. I personally will be monitoring this form, so I would love to hear from you if you have any questions, feedback, want to try it out, anything at all, I'll be more than happy to follow up with you personally, as well as connect you with the right folks in the relevant industry clouds.
Awesome. And then if there's no other questions, can give 20 minutes back to folks. But yeah, definitely, if you're coming to TDX, please, please, please come see us. Fill out the form. And then also, as always, if you are a MuleSoft community leader, you can reach out to me on Slack and I can get you in touch with both of these wonderful ladies. Okay, well, I'll stay on for a couple more minutes in case anyone has a question they don't feel comfortable asking with everyone else online. Otherwise, thank you both so much for this wonderful session. I will be sharing the recording out. I'm also going to share out with this group in the meetups recap email. So if you're attending today, you'll also get an email with the recording. So hope to see you all soon.
Thanks all. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.